Hello there, my name is Valerie White-Williams, and today I am starting my new series on the rising sign. Yes, thank you to all of you who went to my poll and made your choice, and is overwhelming. We are going to start with the rising sign. So what the rising sign is, it's basically when you were born, where the horizon was in the sky. So the horizon could be here, and you could be born when it was dark, you could be born up here. And so that horizon sign sets the foundation of your life, actually. Your whole foundation is set by that rising sign and all the house positions that follow it, all over across the wheel. So it is pretty important, and it probably is way more important when we consider the personality of the person, because sometimes people just don't look or act like their sun sign, just the way it is, because the sun sign is not that important. I mean, it's important, but it's not the be all end all. In fact, most people really resemble the rising sign more. I know when I look at random, like, oh, here's your astrology for, I always look at actually, I don't even look at my rising sign. Because I'm 29 degrees Virgo, okay? So I look at Libra, because that shows me the house positions where things are, okay? But that's a little bit too much information. So the rising sign is kind of your container. My teacher, Connie Kaplan, calls it your ethical foundation. It's kind of how you see life, how you come out of the womb, and you're gonna come out in this certain perspective. And sometimes the rising sign is really different than the sun sign. So that's where the combinations can come in. But the rising sign is when you see somebody, that's usually what you see. You see their personality, you see their energy field. It sets things in motion. So when we talk about Aries, we have an Aries rising. Aries is the first sign in the Zodiac. It is that cardinal fire that rushes in. Think later. That's Aries, and they tend to be very active, dynamic people, not quiet people. They take action, and they will jump in. So they're that person that, is going to go knock on the door and say, hey, excuse me, you did this. I remember I had a voice teacher, and she had her car towed, and I don't know if she was an Aries rising, but maybe she was, because she reminds me of that. She just knocked on that door. She was like 5 foot tall and just was, where's my car? Where's my car? So that's something that an Aries would do. You just don't think, just go. And so Aries take action in their life, and they're very assertive. They're not going to wait. They're not going to wait. They usually have there's that fiery energy, and there's that kind of impulsivity. Like I'm just going to go and do it. I'm going to just shake in and do it, and I'm going to take charge. Everybody else is going, I don't know if I could do it. Well, I'll do it. I'm doing it. That's the Aries. And again, when we talk about cardinal fire, cardinal takes action. And cardinal fire is like, I'm going to initiate things. So people who have Aries risings are used to taking charge and making things happen. And that sometimes there'll be that person where everybody else will watch and go, I'm not going to do it. No, I'm not going to do it. And that Aries rising says, I'm doing it. I'm doing it. That's okay. You don't have to do it. I'm going to go ahead and do it. So I'm going to go. I'm going to do it. That's it. And so they take initiative. They make things happen. So some people think that the rising sign has a lot to do with your inner childhood. I don't know about that. But I do feel that Aries energy is going to be very predominant. And some rising signs are more, you can see more in it. Now, the thing about the rising sign is that there could be some planets in the first house that will also give it a different flavor. So Aries rising, and it could have the moon in the first house. So if the moon was in the first house, that Aries rising might be a bit more sensitive than a typical Aries. And I don't want to say that Aries is insensitive, but I think they sometimes don't think about that first. They're going to think about, let's get this done. Let's do it. Let's take off. We're going to do it. Let's get going. And they're maybe not the most sensitive people, but again, it depends on what's in the chart, because they could be. There could be so many variations. That's the thing. We can't just make broad analogies of the signs because there's just too many perspectives around it. But generally speaking, Aries are going to take action. Now, when I was researching on this video, I realized I don't think I know any real Aries risings in person. I've done a lot of astrology charts, but I just couldn't remember anybody I know personally. So I actually did some looking online and I found 2 people that were Aries rising, and I thought that was quite interesting. And the first one is Lin-Manuel, I think I'm saying his name right. He's the guy that created Hamilton, and he's got a lot of Aries in his chart. And I mean, he's kind of the genius guy. He's kind of that Hamilton is just a genius download. And so he's an Aries rising guy. Now he works on Broadway. There's probably a lot of Aries people in Broadway because you kind of have to be single-minded. That's the thing about Aries too, is they're like eye on the game. And they're going to be like focused, and I'm just going to go with it. And you need to have that kind of personality to get into Broadway and have a big career. So I didn't look at his chart always, but he might be somebody I might do when I do my celebrity astrology because he's a very interesting person. And and kind of a musical and intellectual genius. So, and he has quite a bit of other Aries placements as well. But yeah, you have to be single-minded for that career. So the other person I found was another musician, and that's Stevie Nicks. And she was the singer in Fleetwood Mac, which is getting a new renaissance because so many people are discovering their music. And yeah, they're really powerful. And with Stevie Nicks, in that era, there wasn't a lot of women rockers. There wasn't a lot of women songwriters. I know it's really different now, but in the 70s, not so much. So again, she had to push through and push and had that energy to make it happen because, it was a male's world. It still kind of is in music, but back then, she did a lot of songwriting. She contributed a lot to that band. And, women were kind of looked at as secondary features, like she's pretty and stuff like that. But, she has that drive to make things happen. And that's what that rising sign is. It's your container. People that have that kind of almost like, it's kind of their energy is very quick and their features are kind of very, kind of like you see the fire, very, very, very sensitive, and they're not solid people. They're more energetic. They have a lot of energy, and they are very directed. And they might even feel like they're almost rude sometimes. Like, I'm going to tell it to you straight. If someone's going to tell you it, I'm going to tell you to a straight, and you're going to make your own road, which is exactly what Lin-Manuel and Stevie Nicks did. I'm plowing my own road to my own destiny. And so that is the Aries rising. All right, so I hope this was helpful for you guys. I would love to hear some Aries rising. Tell me if this makes sense, because like I said, I had to do some outside research from the people I know. And so I'm super excited to do more about the rising sign because it's just so interesting. It is your container and your ethical foundation through your place. And I should say one more thing. I cannot generalize because when we have the chart wheel, it really depends on where you are on the globe. But basically, if you are a Aries rising on your descendant, which is the people you want to attract, maybe your relationships, they're going to be Libras. And so you're going to have that Libra energy. And so on your 7th house, you're going to be attracted to people that are a bit more gracious and people friendly. And so that's that harmony between the Aries and Libra, kind of almost the opposite, because Libra are people. So that Aries is going to take charge, and that Libra is going to go, all right, yeah, I'm vibing with you. I love your energy. So that's it. So I'd love to hear about it in the comments below, and I wait to make you some more videos next time. Oh, and I forgot to say, yes, I have a group called Creative Soul Alignment, and that's for people that are interested in creativity and spirituality. So if you're interested in that, I'd love to have you in the group. It's in the description in below, and I put all of my YouTube videos in there. Okay, I'll see you next time. Bye.